Hello everyone, and welcome to another horrific review. Today we're discussing The Black Phone 2, directed by Scott Derrickson. As Finn, now 17, struggles with life after his captivity, his sister begins receiving calls in her dreams from the Black Phone and seeing disturbing visions of three boys being stalked at a winter camp known as Alpine Lake. Hello everyone, welcome back. Looking forward to seeing this here. Finally got a chance to see it. So, I suppose to be clear, yes, I enjoyed this movie. It was a good sequel, but I was a little confused as to the cinematography. So my question was, am I watching The Black Phone 2 or Sinister 3? If you've seen this movie, you'll understand what I'm talking about, and if you've seen the Sinister movies, you know where I'm coming from with this. In the original Black Phone, I was tempted to watch it again before going out to see this, but didn't have time. But it's one of the movies that stays in my mind because I enjoyed it. It had a particular feel, it had its own style. I don't understand why he didn't carry that on with this one. What he's done is use a lot of the camera trickery, especially for the flashbacks with the three boys that he used in Sinister, and I don't know why he did that. It would take away from the movie. And he used some of the same musical score as well, the same style of music that he used for the Sinister series that he's done for this, which once again, the original Black Phone had its own style. I don't know why he's felt the need to do this. It's one of them things. If you're not familiar with the Sinister movies, you'll probably not even notice this. You'll just see it as a continuation. But if you have seen the Sinister movies, it glares at you, and it's something you just can't step away from watching this movie. And my question is just why? Why do you feel the need to do that? I don't understand. The storytelling in this, the characters are great. Carrying on from the story, as you can see from the trailer, it's a revenge story. I think we all knew that. What's confirmed is that the grabber did die because it was left at the end of the last one that we weren't too sure, but that's not really a major spoiler because it's hinted at in the trailer anyway, basically spelled out to you, so no issues there. I am going to avoid spoilers because this is pretty recently out, so as with new movies, I'll always do that there. And then we can have the conversation maybe afterwards or in passing during other streams if you're so inclined. So we start off with a strange scene where a girl who's at this Alpine Lake camp is ringing the Black Phone, and this time it's Gwen that picks it up and gets the message. Now the date says 1959 and Gwen's in 1982 with Finney, and we're getting this idea of crossing time and space, so something's happening there. I'm not going to explain what that is, but it's a major theme of the story, and it's part of the reason why they end up going to Alpine Lake. Alpine Lake is a Christian camp, and it turns out that something happened there, and that's what's drawing them. Finney is not coping well. He's angry. Anytime anybody mentions his experience, even in school, he's lashing out. He's using drugs, and he's just trying to bury himself. If you think Dr. Sleep and the way Danny Torrance used alcohol to basically block out everything, this is what Finney's doing, except he's using marijuana. Their dad's sober and trying to cope after everything. You can tell there's love in the family. This is the thing I do enjoy. There's love in the family, but they're all struggling, and they're struggling to come to terms with what's happened, and they're trying to find their way forward in the world and what their new reality is. And it's done very well. Finney and Gwen's characters are great. What I appreciate is that they're not doing this silly modern writing, tear the family apart. Gwen isn't a girl boss, but she's competent and has abilities. They're not diminishing Finney for his experience, and at the end of the day it all gets dealt with. That's the whole point of this journey. So they decide to go to Alpine Lake. They find out about these three boys, it's through dreams and visions, and they keep revisiting the site of the Black Phone, and as you see in the trailers, etc., the Black Phone at the camp. And as we know, it's a conduit for speaking with the dead, and essentially what they're trying to do is solve the mystery, what happened, and also deal with the fact that the grabber wants them. He wants revenge. He feels cheated. He wants to punish Finney for killing him. And we also get a bit of insight into the family's backstory, what happened. I'm being deliberately vague here, if you probably guessed, because I don't want to spell it all out, and I don't want to ruin it for you if you haven't seen this yet. But it's well done. I have to say, the story's well done. Like I said, I just don't understand Derrickson's choice to use the exact same camera shots and the same techniques that he did during Sinister, basically making it the Sinister movie. I don't understand why he did it. There's absolutely no need whatsoever. Even the intro of this is still, it may as well be the Sinister movie, the way it's played out. It's very confusing. Thankfully, though, it doesn't take over the whole story. Like, when we get to the second act, we get the momentum going, we see what's happening, and it doesn't mess about. Now, it's a bit of a slow burn to begin with. Like, the first act takes its time getting there. This movie's not in a rush to get you to the conclusion, but it's also not doing the usual, the trope that I hate about horror movies, where it basically drags you along to the last 15 minutes and then rushes everything. It doesn't do that either. Apart from the slow burn at the beginning, and like I said, the strange visuals from the Sinister movies, once we get past that, the movie does start to really get into it, and I'm glad it does, because it could have been really distracting. So we have Finney, Gwen, and Ernesto. Ernesto is essentially Gwen's boyfriend. He's like love hearts, absolutely infatuated with her. So the three of them go up and they try to basically solve the mystery. There's another great character here called Mando, who runs a camp and runs the activities. And we get his backstory and how he's ended up there. He was at the camp when the three boys went missing, and he's never forgiven himself. And you can probably guess it's basically to get these three spirits and get them laid to rest. But the grabber has other ideas. How they manage to tie the two together, like the grabber coming into things, and the young boys, and his quest for revenge, basically coming back from hell to get Finney, is all very clever. You start to figure it out anyway. Halfway through the movies, you're not getting severely shocked. That's not what it's about. It's not like major plot twists or anything. If you've watched any sort of horror movie or storyline, you start to pick up what's happening and how it's all coming together. That's good. So you're not there for that. You're basically there for the journey, and you're there for the emotional aspect. That's what this is. This is all about healing, closure, moving forward, dealing with your demons. Visuals, special effects, really good. I have to say, the scenes, it's not a slasher movie. It's more psychological, supernatural thriller. But when there is gore and when there is violence, it's actually done really well. It's not romanticized, it's not dressed up. It's actually, the visuals is really intense. Like, you're going along with this, you're holding your breath at times, just going through the story. It all comes up ahead in the mountains, in the camp area, and it's done really well with the sort of ice and the snow. Just the Danny Torrance. If you think of the end scene of The Shining, in the maze, and Jack's chased them and that, there's a bit of that brought in. You can tell Joe Hill is nicking a lot of stuff from his dad, which is a bit disappointing. It's like he's like really on the nose with some of the references here, and it just makes you think, mate, have a bit of confidence in yourself. You don't have to constantly borrow things, but needless to say, well, not even borrow, but just straight out steal things, and you'll know what I mean when you get to certain references and certain scenes. You're kind of like, really? That's what you're doing? But apart from that, yeah, really good, and we'll get a good closure. I don't know about the grabber, but Finn and Gwen's story definitely could carry on. That's one thing I get from this. Their story you could see it almost like the Conjuring universe. These two could carry on in the adult life and use their gifts, and there's an acceptance there, which is really nice. It's sort of that hero's journey, the sort of psychic denying her abilities and Finn denying his and not knowing how to deal with it, and then understanding that their curse is a gift, and then understanding how to use it. That all plays out. So I could see the Black Phone as such going on as a series, maybe not being grabber centric. They could visit other things, it could help people, they could go down that road if they wanted to. Does it warrant another one? No. They could get away with not doing another one. They could just stop it here. Like, this is a good story arc closed. I don't know if Derrickson and Joe Hill have got it in them. Like I said, Derrickson's went back to copying and pasting his techniques from his first two movies. Like, if you're doing that in the second movie of a different franchise, which you'd already established, that worries me. That worries me about what's ahead for Derrickson. Which is a shame, because, as you know, like, my first live review on this channel was Sinister. That's an interesting thing. Like, my first live review was Sinister and Sinister 2. I think I did them together, did I? Either did them together or one after the other. One of the two anyway, but I think that's why those movies sort of stick in my head, because on this channel 5 years ago, that's when I decided I was going to do live reviews and movie reviews on my own, as well as what I've done with everybody else. It was sort of the first step out of that. So they do linger in my mind. I didn't appreciate Sinister 2. I thought he had run out of ideas, and I'm seeing now the black phone, maybe it's doing the same. So as long as I don't beat the dead horse, if I don't overdo this, and if I do have a plan, we could get another movie, but it can't just go around the same circles again. It needs to move forward and needs to move into new territory. But we'll see anyway. But for the most part, I enjoyed the movie. I definitely did. Definitely had a good time. I would definitely recommend it. Definitely recommend you check it out. But there you go. If you've seen it, let me know what you think in the comments. And until next time, keep up the channel, do the typical things, and remember to keep it creepy, keep it horrific.